This is the classroom, the teacher's professional home, where Louise Roberts has spent half her waking life for the past 5 years, helping children to learn, feeling her worth as a teacher.
With deep regret, I hereby submit my resignation as a teacher in the school system for the forthcoming year, for reasons
It had happened within a school year. So many changes. Changes that had taken so much out of teaching. There once stood the piano. There, once the science corner and library. Special projects built around the world in which children live that kept their minds brimming with ideas. But all this is past. Reasons? How does a teacher explain her reasons for resigning?
Miss Roberts, oh, Miss Roberts, may I please read my report now? The name of my report is The Telephone Trip. My class went on a trip to the telephone building Monday. We saw the switchboards. Then we went to another room where we could hear the click-click from the people dialing on their telephones.
Kathy and her classmates, learning to read and write and spell, creating their own stories about field trips into the city, learning what it means to live in a community, learning how people work and live together.
Operator speaking. Number, please.
Stimulated, the children carried over into the classroom what they had seen.
This is dentist office. I'd like to have an appointment.
One group practiced use of the telephone, while a more advanced group conducted a simple experiment in the transmission of sound.
How's your brother? Okay, how's school day? Fine.
A third group practiced using the telephone directory.
70630. 70 what? 70630.
That's fine. Now, Benji, let's see if you can find your name, and we'll write your number down in the class directory.
One 4913.
Kathy, her eager mind running over with questions.
14913.
That's fine, Benji. Children, may I have your attention, please? Kathy wants to know if she had to get a message quickly to someone in a foreign country, how would she do it? Suppose, for example, Kathy wanted to reach someone in France. Now, here we are, and here's France all the way across the ocean. What could she do? David?
Oh, sure, but maybe couldn't she just write a letter?
I'm sure Kathy wants something faster than that. Linda?
Well, she can stamp it down and put rush on it. Kathy could use a translated telephone.
Yes. Billy?
There's a cablegram that runs on. There's a cable that runs under the ocean. You can set the cablegram with it. My father was out in the middle of the ocean on a ship, and he got a telephone call in the middle of the night, and it was my father wishing my mother a happy birthday, and we got to stay up real late to talk to him. How could she phone from the ship if there aren't any telephone wires on the water? Well, it would have to go from ship to shore. It would have to go over shortwave radio, and it would
Informal discussion. Questions such as Kathy's leading the group into broader fields of learning. All this was part of the school day.
Well, in the 2 weeks we've been studying communications, we've learned a great deal. Not only about the telephone, but also about other ways of sending and receiving messages. Now, what do you think would be a good way to show each other just how much we've learned?
Oh, one could do a big test. No. We could pay him, yeah.
We'll have a test Friday on the new spelling words we've learned. Now, for the mural, we'll need a committee to see what should go into it. Well...
The children were learning to work independently. Committees or groups responsible for developing their own projects. Artwork helped the children express their feelings and ideas. Then, of course, there was time for functional drill in the 3 R's. In small working groups, according to each child's needs. Some doing silent reading. A more advanced group working out a dramatization of a story they had read.
Yeah, but the train has got the train on. Well, we do have a train. There's one thing to be sure. Quick Trip's going to be made out of cardboard because we can't get a real one in here.
While using special teaching aids, Miss Roberts gave extra attention to those in need of help with their reading.
Peggy?
I am going to look at hats on the 6th floor.
That's right. Now, can you tell me 3 things Betty wanted to do? Kathy, would you read it, please?
Betty said, I want to see the dollhouse, but I'd also like to ride the hobby horse.
That's right. Now, Benji, can you tell us what it was Anne wanted to do when she was in the store?
I want to ride the hobby horse, too.
24 children, all different, physically, mentally, emotionally. Children who could not be taught all in the same way. Learning was related to the day's experience, with writing and spelling part of daily class responsibilities. And there was plenty of arithmetic, too, with classwork keyed to each child's rate of progress.
Kathy, you must learn to make straighter lines. A 7 should look like a policeman with his hand held up to stop traffic.
Mine looks like a tired old man.
Try again.
Kathy, enjoying her work and learning, but needing help with her reading. David, anxious to please, needing recognition. Benji, needing to be pulled out of his shell. Joey, more advanced, needing greater challenge to prevent boredom.
All right, children, it's time for recess. Oh, Kathy, could you stay after school a few minutes today so we can work on your reading?
Oh, yes, Miss Roberts, I can stay.
This was the classroom, 24 pupils, with time for each child. Time to know and understand each boy and girl, to handle and guide them in different ways, along new paths, feeling her worth as a teacher. This was how it was until construction of the huge industrial plant that triggered the community to new life. Suddenly, almost overnight, the quiet suburb became a small city.
Boys and girls, we have 2 new children for our class. This is Barbara Baker, who comes from Cleveland, and this is John Sykes from Atlanta. Until we get some new desks, we'll have to find a place for you to sit. Joanne, will you please show them where to put their coats?
But the tide had only started. Just as the community changed, so did the classroom. One by one, the class projects were removed to make room for more desks. More and more as the months went by. For a time, Miss Roberts tried to continue small group work, reluctant to give up helping children with their individual needs. But various elements were working against her. Restricted space, the sheer physical closeness of one child to another. Lack of classroom projects to occupy their attention once they had completed their assignments. Nothing to do. No place to go. What was the use? Keeping discipline had become one of the biggest chores of the crowded classroom.
All right, Jerry, pick yourself up. Those of you who have finished, get out your language books and fill in the blanks on page 72. The rest of you go on working. Linda, will you please pass out paper?
And so, to control the crowd, to hold their attention, Miss Roberts was forced to return to whole instruction, teaching the mass instead of the individual. Teaching by rote, with no relation to everyday problems, with neither time nor opportunity to build on children's interests and experiences. Teaching no longer stimulating to the pupils or the teacher. But there were other losses too. Losses in learning time, waiting for help, waiting while others received attention. Waiting until Miss Roberts found time to give them the attention they needed. Benji, the quiet child, waiting, moving deeper into his shell. Joey, the gifted child, frustrated, waiting for the school day to end. Kathy, her eagerness being slowly stifled. Children lost in the crowd. At the weekly staff meeting, teachers tried to find solutions for what was happening.
We're forced to work with groups that are much too large. The slow learners aren't getting the attention they need, and the bright ones are bored.
I've been trying competitive games with my group, but even games can't keep these older boys quiet very long.
I had to postpone a parents' conference this afternoon. I simply couldn't work it in.
You're right. And it gets worse every day. But for the time being, we've got to live with it, doing the best job we can.
Even if it's a bad job?
We're all carrying a pretty impossible load, Miss Gibson. I'm probably not doing the best job a principal can, but I'm trying the best I know how. That's what's expected of all of us.
The best a teacher knows how. With playground supervision, hall duty, cafeteria monitor, crosswalk guard morning and afternoon. Working late each day to catch up. Yet test papers and reports pile up.
Here's another of the sounds we need to work on. Let's all think of the difference between these two sounds. Jennifer, can you give us a word with this sound? That's not fair, children. Wait until you're called on. Now I'm going to say a word. See if you can tell me if you hear this sound in the beginning, middle, or end of the word. Draw. Kathy? Now remember, give Kathy a chance.
Kathy takes too long.
Oh, too bad. Please remember to tidy up your desks before you go, children.
Miss Roberts, I'm still having trouble with my reading.
I wish I could help you today, Kathy, but I have hall duty.
Oh.
No, better let her go. Kathy needs help, but so do others. And with so many, there just isn't time. Avoid it as she tried, Louise Roberts knew that something had happened to weaken for her the meaning, the worth of teaching. Something had corrupted the value of her chosen career. But was that sufficient reason for resigning? Where did her sense of failure start?
Oh, Miss Roberts, I didn't know you were still here. You had a phone call a couple of minutes ago from Mrs. Williams, I think it was.
It's all right, Mr. Brady.
She says she just got to find you.
Kathy's mother. That's where the doubt in her mind had begun. In Kathy Williams' home.
That's enough TV, Kathy. Let's work on your reading until Mother gets home.
Oh, Aunt Ellen, do I have to?
Gracious knows you can do with practice. If your teacher hasn't the time for you, your Aunt Ellen does. Here we are, where we left off.
How long are you going to visit us, Aunt Ellen?
Don't change the subject, child. Sleeping Beauty's a charming story. Come on now. The first building the prince saw was the stable.
When he looked in, he saw all the horses asleep. He went into the
Castle.
There sat the founding cook.
Kathy, you know better than that. Frowning cook, not founding.
What does it mean?
Oh, well, hello.
Hi, Kathy, darling. How are you?
Margaret Williams, your daughter's reading is simply deplorable. She barely knows half the words, let alone their meaning. Why, we were reading Sleeping Beauty in the 2nd grade.
Oh, dear.
You can say, oh, dear, but if Jim were alive, he'd be doing something about it. I keep telling you it's her teacher, that Miss Roberts.
But Miss Roberts is a good teacher.
Kathy, don't bother your little head about this. It's not your fault. At the rate she's learning, just try getting her into a decent college when she grows up. With their crowded conditions, picking their students. Margaret, if you have any interest in your daughter's education...
Of course, like every mother, you want the best for your child. The very best for Kathy. But there are other cares on your mind. Still, at your job in the neighborhood bank, you take time to inquire of other mothers.
How else could you explain it? Danny's fallen behind so in his arithmetic.
Miss Roberts is his teacher, too.
But isn't that the way everything's run these days? Slipshod?
As the weeks go by, you realize something is happening to Kathy. Then, that Sunday morning, with Kathy home from Sunday school, Aunt Ellen had visited her class in time to hear Kathy read a Bible story.
Well, all I can say is you should have heard her yourself, poor Kathy. In front of all those children, I was never so humiliated.
Maybe Ellen's right. Maybe you've been neglecting Kathy. And that tiny feeling of panic that your child is receiving a second-rate education turns to anger. Anger looking for a target. All that Sunday, you try to call Miss Roberts. When you fail to reach her, your irritation grows. And suddenly, your mind is made up. The next day at work, you get in touch with a member of the school board with whom you are acquainted and arrange to see him at his home. To him, you state your case against Miss Roberts.
If it were only Kathy, I'd ask to have her transferred to another teacher, but there are other children.
Are you active in the PTA, Mrs. Williams? In any school activity? I imagine our teachers are pretty busy, too. Too busy to give individual attention. This year, you know, your child's school nearly doubled its enrollment. And you know how birth rates all over the country are still going up.
I came here, Mr. Chadwick, to talk about getting rid of a teacher who obviously doesn't know her job. And I am speaking not only for myself.
Why not take an afternoon off from your job, Mrs. Williams? Go out to the school, talk to the principal.
You're right, Mrs. Williams. Miss Roberts isn't doing a good job.
You admit it?
Miss Roberts would be the first to agree with you. Not that she isn't a good teacher. She's one of our best. But today she isn't being given a chance.
A chance?
To teach the way she's been trained, the way she wants to teach, the way she can teach.
Oh, come now, Mr. Morris. We're all overworked.
You haven't been here recently, have you? Why not take a walk through the corridors? Take a look at some of our classrooms before you talk to Miss Roberts. I'll have one of our 7th graders show you around. I think you'll find, Mrs. Williams, that you've acted a bit hastily.
You see a classroom in a corridor, another in a basement. You see a classroom being set up on the auditorium stage. The school library taken out of circulation. Classes doubled up. You see a class operating in a nearby Quonset hut. A playground area designed for the safety of less than half this number. A child crowded out. By the time you reach Miss Roberts' room, your confidence in your judgment is a bit shaken. Nevertheless, you attend the next meeting of the school board. There you sit among vacant chairs of those who, in the long run, frame school policies, who are responsible for our schools. The school board and the superintendent try to meet the problems of overcrowding. As they strive for solutions, you begin to wonder, whose fault is it that Kathy is not getting the best in education? Miss Roberts? Suddenly you feel a desire to help, to try to work out these problems with your neighbors, through your community organizations. Also, because essentially you are a fair person, you begin to feel a sense of guilt about Miss Roberts. Guilt that grows, especially the next day when you hear from another teacher that Miss Roberts intends to resign. You couldn't blame Kathy's mother. It was only natural that she should want the best for Kathy.
The prince walked from one silent room to another, looking for the sleeping beauty. At last, he discovered her in the tower room. There she lay, as beautiful as she had been on the day she fell asleep.
What had Mr. Morris said? All we can do for the present is try the best we know how. But still, was that enough for a teacher? Was that enough for Kathy?